but I think he's talking about something on the structure, light of some kind or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Fire is really.
He's also not really in favor of the roll-up doors either though, so, but he just couldn't be here tonight. I know you guys, I wanted you guys to talk and before we bring anything back to council, answer some questions with the fire chief because he would know this world better than anybody in the room. I think.
Nothing's foolproof. I had a couple customers that I didn't send you the video yet. They put up shutters. They stole a Ram truck and drove through it. And the alarm went off, and
I saw Alderman Roll, Alderman Fairwell, Alderman Roll first.
Yeah, thank you for coming tonight to give this information. Just real quick, I just want to make sure I understood the security fogger and the camera repair, right?
yes, sir.
And that's the camera can sort of provide accurate information even if the fogger's been deployed.
Yes, sir.
So, okay. And then, Mayor, maybe you could answer this. I know there was a mention that our code would need to be updated. What would we characterize, I guess legally as our big stumbling block here? Does it have to do with the security fogger? I don't know, Mayor.
No, so the issue with, there's two, I can answer both questions. One with the roll down gates, it's not in code right now, but something if we wanted to do, we could just tweak the code to allow it. With this issue here is more concerned about if it's a burglary, not a fire, we're sending out false calls at the whole department to go out there when a real call could be coming in. That was his biggest concern,
Okay.
down that line. And there's nothing in our code that allows us, now we would have to write a code for this.
Okay.
So it's not allowed at all as a use right now.
First thing we did, we went to Central Station and we developed protocols to make sure that fire is notified as fast as police. So that they know it's a fogger and taking the time to get with the individual fire departments and letting them know what it is, not gonna be a surprise.
Alderman Fairwell had a question?
You have some more?
I did just have one more, if that's all right. But I forgot, so you first.
Welcome to getting. What is the substance that makes the fog?
It's water-based.
Oh, it's water-based, okay, so it's not toxic.
It's fog.
It is actually a fog, okay, gotcha. And again, probably maybe for us, our consideration in this, would we, I say, I'm not crazy about the idea of roll-up doors, frankly, just from a parent standpoint and an older account like ours.
I agree.
Doesn't look good.
I agree.
So would we be able to write this simply for this type of system if we were gonna do an ordinance like this?
Yes, it'd be added into our building code, allowing it,
Yeah.
with certain uses, but we'd have to get the language. I just heard, like I said, Elsa, I think, passed one. I was gonna pull their ordinance and see what they wrote. And then probably bring it to a future meeting.
And are there other vendors who provide this, like you do?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so it's a competitive situation, yeah,
And they're the guys that are kind of created a little bit of a problem.
okay,
Because, they're divided, there's the two main companies. One of them is called, Destiny Fogger and the other one's called Rhino Target. I looked into both of these companies. Neither of them are licensed. The Illinois Department of Professional Rights says this is a bird device that has to fall under a licensing mark. So they're going through individual art companies that just want to go in, make a quick buck, throw these foggers in. Okay. Again, this is not a sales pitch. I already have all of this. And we're just trying to look for ways to protect the properties stronger. And since I have such a huge interest in keeping my gaming locations secure for our own company, I did a lot of homework on it. And I walked through it myself to see what does it feel like, okay? If I got stuck, if I tripped, okay? You're not gonna, if I get stuck in there for 40 minutes, you're not gonna resuscitate me. It's breathable, no, just like if you walk through fog. Again, the fire department, the police that I talked to are low. Because they know that fog's gonna clear the area, they'd much rather have the guys run away in 2 or 3 minutes before they get there. Fire wanted to make sure that they're notified before they get there. Their big problem was egress, which is a section 101 life safety code, which smoke cannot impair the egress, which means leaving. Well, the argument, and it's a gray line, is this is not smoke.
so I appreciate you bringing your expertise to us, it's very informative, so that's great. But I just wanted to make sure that, we're allowing a competitive situation here, how we write it.
No, I agree. It's relatively new, like I said. And I want to clarify, I don't like the aesthetics of the roll down stuff or any of that stuff, but I do know from just hearing from the police department. It is a rash that's taking up a lot of time of our police officers. They keep hitting the same businesses over and over and over again. So anything that we can move forward to, what's a good word for that? Deterring that, I'd be in favor of listening to. I know, Alderman, you have your hand up earlier.
Again, I just, this is unequivocally non-toxic, right?
Absolutely.
Alderman Roll.
Yeah, sorry, I remember the question. So I think you'd said right now all your models are beta, they're in beta tests, but you don't have any of these live with your.
We do one in Peatone,
Okay,
and he didn't have security, I mean, he didn't have fires.
okay.
So
And as far as the false positive concern, I would imagine though, you'll be able to better speak to that once you have more of these deployed and get a sense, right, of what it's like for your customers to have to respond and whether or not there's false positives.
well, first thing we do, an alarm system, a fire system can trip. An alarm system can't go off if it's off unless you get a panic button, no more than the light can turn itself on. So the systems are disarmed. So even if it's triggered off of the alarm or triggered off of our guard pushing the buttons, we're trying to figure out which one is more effective and which is quicker, okay? The chances of a false deployment are slim to none. And if there is, we've got video verification on it. I don't know any other company in the country doing what we're doing at our price point with the way we do video verification. So we started the video verification for information to law enforcement. But that just tied in perfect. I had people come to me, in fact, we've had conversations about just putting it on the alarm system and letting it trip. Once I realized that there was a fire factor, I put the brakes on it. So we're not installing any of these in any cities until everybody's good with it. And then we tackle the fire code. I met with fire marshals, met with fire chiefs, address their concerns. And nobody wants to be the guy to say, okay. So what we found the easiest way to do, have a meeting with police and fire and city individually, 20 minutes, give them actual live demos. Set up one local account for a live data. And if you guys don't like it, I'll take it out.
Alderman Johnson had his hand up, and then Alderman.
Yes, this solar powered or hardwired.
They're hardwired, battery backup, Wi-Fi and cellular communication. Similar to your alarm system. You know, now internet's down, we're not gonna get video, but you know, over the last 5 years, 5G internet, very, very, very.
Yeah, I was just asking that question because we've seen a lot of break-ins and how they broke in, because if they wanted, they gonna go get it. Through, when we had the COVID, we had issues in surrounding cities like Chicago. Where they broke in, some of them even broke through the hard line and cut the wires. They would do whatever they wanted.
Well, just like your fire system, it has a backup battery, so we would pick up the power, it's on a GSM radio. As long as Wi-Fi with direct connect, so it's set up similar to that. Nothing's foolproof. I mean,
Yeah.
they robbed the Louvre in France. I mean, but
Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing some of these demos. Is there any like active shooter instances where, you know, like you have the camera, and then you see where the individual is, and then the fog comes into play, and then that individual has moved to another location, and then, you know.
No, I know that it had been used in active shooter situation in schools in California. I don't know how I feel about that. What I have seen from the hundreds of online videos of actual break-ins throughout the country, from California and Texas and Europe, they run. For the most part, you know, there's, you know, unless he's a drug addict who passes out in the corner, chances are, if you're dumb enough to rob a place, you're probably stupid enough and be smart enough to get out of there once you see this place going up the fog. And it's not instantaneous. It takes 8 to 10 seconds. So it's more than enough time. You know, I counted to the door with 6 steps to get out from the gaming room. And I do have those live videos, but it's kind of hard to show on an iPad. We can come to an agreement. I could meet with you guys.
How long does the fog take to clear?
It
Let's say
depends on the ventilation.
stays in there.
We did a beta test in North Riverside and it was freezing outside and they wanted it open, so we only opened up the front door. It dissipated enough that you could see within about 15 minutes. It was completely cleared out in about 40.
Is there a general consensus that we move forward with him meeting with our, police and fire? I didn't want to waste their time if the council was adamant against the fogging machine. Okay, so that's the next step. We'll have you meet with the chiefs, along with whoever else, set up this demonstration and probably answer a lot of their questions that they have.
Yes, sir.
So, all right, thank you. Thank you for your time.
And what's the name of your company again?
Two companies, sorry, I have brochures, I'll leave for all of you. Alarm Illinois is my alarm company. 28,000 locations. My guard service company, which we do a lot of car lots and outside protection, is called Guard Watch. Both under the same license, they're DBAs. Offices in Texas, Houston, 3 California, Dallas, 3 New York, 6 Michigan. So we're still a family business, but we're big enough to, you know, we've been around the playground. Seen it all. A lot of stuff you don't want to see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good.
Good evening, everybody. Billy Pappas, work with Excel Entertainment, terminal operator that provides the slot machines to our valued partners. Again, work with a lot of locations within Blue Island ourselves. And again, from a TO perspective, a terminal operator's perspective, this has been an epidemic, as David mentioned. Since the end of October through a 3-month period, just our company alone saw a brash of 40 break-ins alone, totaling about $2.5 million worth of damage just to the machines itself that we're responsible for repaying, getting our businesses and our partners back up and running within due time, because again, we don't want, again, all of that happening. It's already a bad situation when somebody breaks into your business. So the way that our company is coming about it is we're going in kind of 3 phases. Detect, where if we have a camera system, AI detection, geofence, where we get a better alert when somebody's pulling up during hours that don't jive, like 12 to 5, 12 to 6, when we're seeing these break-ins happen, we get a better understanding of what's going on, dispatch appropriately, maybe before that happens. Deterrence, hardening gates, type of surveillance gates that go on, beautifications of like doors, like having bars across the door, so maybe they break the door and maybe they can't squeeze through it. And then that last line of defense is prevention. And that's where that security fogger comes in. So if they do get in, that fogger, again, through camera system and a live remote agent, they verify that there is a break-in, they press that button to play the fog, and then they hopefully send back out without causing a bunch of other damage along to the businesses.
Question, Alderman Fairwell, then Alderman McGee.
I was just curious, I assume they're after cash,
They are,
right? Well, why not remove the cash?
they do remove the cash.
No, why do the operators leave cash in the premises?
So you have to be a licensed handler to open up the video game machine. They have to
There's
have,
cash in the machine. I just didn't know. I thought it was all tickets and stuff, and there wasn't any cash in the machines.
so it's cash and take over and that can that are going out. Yep.
Alderman McGee.
My concern is for our officer safety. If in fact the fogger is deployed, they can't see that the perpetrator's in there. You know, whether they're armed or not armed. And, you know, it could be crouching in the corner somewhere. It would take 45 minutes for the fog to clear. In the meantime, one of our officers just,
Totally hear you.
Okay, what's your name?
Billy Pappas.
Pappas?
Pappas.
Yeah.
That's some of the questions probably the chiefs are gonna ask him. Be concerned.
Yeah.
Any questions for Mr. Pappas? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Tom, you got it?
Good, thanks. I think we've got covered. Thank you.
All right, discussion with Buckeye Power Sales General Maintenance Agreement. This is who maintains our backup generators, and they're up for renewal. So the police department, city hall, fire station 2, public works, East Annex. There's 2 at East Annex 1, East Annex 2. So it's just general yearly maintenance agreement. Mark, do we have anything else? No. It's 5,000 a year, is that reading you?
Right, yeah, five generators at 5,000.
And this is who currently service them now, right?
Yes, the only people that, so Buckeye does not service the generators at the pumping stations. Those are handled by Cummins.
Any questions regarding this?
I think
Alderman Fairwell?
I answered my own question. Just want to make it clear. So when it says per 12 months, it means $920 for a year. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, next we have a possible grant situation, resolution for the city of Blue Island, Cook County, Illinois, authorizing submittal of a grant application for Invest in Cook program funds for a feasibility study regarding rerouting the Calsag Trail, off Vermont Street to the original intended route. The grant's due tomorrow. It's one of the reasons why I switched this to a special agenda. The Friends of Calsag were contacted. They're writing a letter through Steve Bucktel, supporting this. And, I mean, this is an issue I brought up several times, if anybody's ever paid attention about goals. We want to get the trail on a safer route off Vermont Street for those few blocks. So this would, if we do get the grant, it would be a feasibility study to look into if it's even possible to move it, into a safer route. Any questions? It's hard. It's hard from basically Pulaski through. It's hard. And we had to take pictures of the danger situation, and then there's one side of the house. Houses do not have garages, and they park in the street on top of the trail, and we've talked about it. All right, so I need a motion for this resolution. A motion made by Alderman General, second by Alderman Johnson on the question. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman, Ruthenberg,
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
Alderman Carr.
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, another grant from the Blue Island Forestry Board. This one didn't need the resolution for us to submit it, but it needed it to, if we do get awarded, so I just put it on here. It's for matching grant for landscaping for the Blue Island Forestry Board through a ComEd Green Region program. So is there a motion? Motion by Alderman McGee, second by Alderman Fairwell on the question. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Ruthenberg,
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
Alderman McGee,
Aye.
Alderman Carr. Alderman Roll.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Motion carries. Oh, the rock salt. Oh, I see. The rock salt, looking for it, yeah. Oh, so this is our yearly, to participate in the joint purchase program with the state for rock salt. So we get the best deal for our rock salt for next season. There a motion for this? Motion by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Fairwell on the question. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Ruthenberg.
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
Alderman McGee. Alderman Carr. Alderman Roll.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Carries. Next, I have Guildhouse. They're here. I know you guys wanted to introduce yourselves. Feel free to stop up. I also want to congratulate you for being the nonprofit of the year and healthcare volunteer of the year this past,
Good evening, City Council members. Thank you for the time this evening and for your awareness of both our timeline and the seller's motivation to move this transaction forward. My name is Al Anderson, and I serve as the Executive Director of Guildhouse. This is John McGovern, he's the President of our Board of Directors. Guildhouse is a state licensed nonprofit treatment facility dedicated to serving men with substance use disorder. In addition, we operate a recovery home for men on Southwestern Avenue here in Blue Island. Today, we are seeking to expand our services by establishing a women's residential treatment program within the city of Blue Island. This program would mirror the men's residential treatment program that Guildhouse has successfully operated at 2413 Canal Street for more than 35 years. Over those 35 years, Guildhouse has built a strong and positive relationship with the Blue Island community. We have consistently demonstrated responsible operations, maintain our properties with care, work collaboratively with local officials, and delivered services and support recovery while respecting the integrity of the surrounding neighborhood. Blue Island is both a natural and appropriate location for this expansion. Long-standing presence here reflects not only community trust, but also our deep commitment to being a responsible and engaged neighbor. The proposed location for this program is 2824 Union Street. Guildhouse is fully committed to operating this program in a manner that is safe, respectful, and compatible with the surrounding community. As with our existing programs, we would uphold clear policies, professional staffing standards, and ongoing oversight to ensure a positive impact for both residents and the neighborhood. We appreciate the opportunity to continue serving the city of Blue Island by expanding access to critical treatment services for women in need, while maintaining the same level of accountability, professionalism, and community partnership that Guildhouse has upheld for decades. We respectfully ask for your support in allowing us to extend that legacy and meet our growing need in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. And I know just the planning meeting I paid attention to added a lot of restrictions. I'm sure you guys went through them all because you were there. So the special use shall be limited to only this applicant. The special use authorizes the conduct of the special use only on the property, is not transferable to other properties. Any modification or intensification of the special use that alters the essential character of the operation of the use in a way not intended at the time the special use was granted, as evidenced by the record or text of the ordinance, shall require a new special use. That the approval of special use authorizes the property to be used in the manner as proposed, that the special use subject to conditions complies with all other codes. The special use subject to conditions involves the conditions set forward for vehicle access to the property shall house no more than 6 residents. The meetings of the property should be limited to residents and affiliated organizations. The meetings, there will be no meetings of the property after 10 p.m. That the approval of use should be limited to providing housing for women recuperating from the effects of drug or alcohol addiction. There's no overnight guests should be allowed on the property. Female employee of the applicant shall be present on the property at all times. There's no signage shall be posted on the property to identify the use of the property, and that this ordinance shall be signed by the applicant to signify acknowledgement of those terms. Is there any questions for the applicants? Alderman Roll.
Yeah, just thank you both, for being here tonight to answer questions. I personally, think you guys run a great organization. I do have questions on behalf of residents who, maybe heard varying things. One of the biggest is licensing, of these licensed facilities.
Yes.
Okay, and can you provide that information? It doesn't have to be now, but just so that I have something to refer to for residents who have questions
Of
about.
course, yeah.
Yeah,
The state works this way. I would love to have my license now, but I have a property. I have to have the property before I get the license. So as soon as we close, if we can, then we apply for our license. And then we'll give you that information.
are there any contingencies to that other than process? I mean, what considerations go into whether or not you get the license? Is it just going through the motions or is it assessed? Okay.
Yeah, just go through the motions. It's got, everything we have to do, all of our houses are licensed. The recovery homes license, treatment centers license. And so this is just an added service onto our license, but we have to go through the motions with them, life safety, all that kind of stuff.
Sure. Thank you. And will you have tenants who may have criminal backgrounds? Statement.
Yes.
And then what is the total planned occupancy of the facility?
6 clients would be the maximum.
Okay. Thank you. And then just my comment, I reached out to most of you, all of you today. I do appreciate hearing back from Alderman Johnson. Again, I personally have no issue with the proposal. I have been asked by many residents to sort of give them information, give them time to be heard. So, as I've mentioned to you all, my preference is that we table it tonight, that I give residents who are concerned about property values and impact to their families time to ask questions and be heard before we vote on it. That's my request. And thank you again for being willing to share.
Alderman Fairwell.
Yeah, again, I got great things to say about you guys. You do wonderful stuff, so appreciate it. I do hear Alderman's role, concern is about use, about our process. I don't mean just about our process as important, but anything that I'm talking about here is not about your facility. I understand, I've heard from Alderman Roll about his concern about the need for a little more time on this, which I think is reasonable considering that it is a significant impact on the neighborhood, and it's probably gonna be a good one. But residents do have, concerns, and I think they should be addressed before, so I would support Alderman Roll motion that he wants to leave on the table.
Alderman McGee had a question.
My question is as to the facility itself. So you're saying that this property will house 6, correct? Does that facilitate the requirements that of the intake of individuals that I have in? Do you have possible future of purchasing another property and utilizing that as well, as far as facility size?
There is a drastic need for this on the south side of Chicago. For us, though, we're starting here and we don't know which way we'll go, we have to see if we can keep it full, if it stays full, we have a 16-bed house at the men's facility and, to keep it at 16 beds sometimes gets tough. Because it depends on winter, they want to be there, right? Summer, they're out. So it kind of depends on all that stuff, but, we're hoping that this at least will give 16 women a chance to rebuild their lives.
And then, really quick, what is the traditional turnover of occupants that you see?
Well, the program's for 90 days. It's a 90-day program. Nothing happens magically in 90 days, but it's about, some people graduated at 81, some graduated at 96. But they're committing to 90 days. Now, that doesn't mean that somebody comes in and 3 weeks later, they want to go home. There's no locks on the doors or nothing like that. We're built on this, you gotta want. You have to want to get sober in order for this program to work. It can't be your parents, it can't be your uncle, it can't be anybody. It's got to be you that wants to stop doing whatever you're doing and live a better life. And so, they think they do that, they come in motivated, and then it doesn't work. So it really matters in that.
There are some people who stay longer than 90 days. They could stay up to, we have a couple people there that are like 6 months. Just to make sure they get their feet on the ground and get going. And we're not gonna kick them out after 90 days. We want to make sure that they're secure and ready to go out and face the world before we, do it. So they have to stay, we're willing to keep them, they're not going out.
Alderman Grunwald and Alderman Johnson.
Just a clarification, did you say 6 or 16 residents at this facility?
No, 6 here.
Okay, all right, thanks, yeah.
Alderman Johnson?
Yes, one, I want to thank you, because, you guys used to be in part of my ward at the Gill House. I visited the Gill House. I did a tour with you guys, I ate with the fellas, and I think you're doing an outstanding job. And I know, as I talked to, Alderman Roll about some things about concerns of the residents, but overall, this is a much needed situation. So my question to you, is this a time stamp on this? Does it have to be right today? And if so, when if not, getting waiting if it can't, because I'm in agreement with you. But I also want everybody to be on the same page.
Yes, to answer your question, we're in the process of purchasing this house. And as you can, the sellers, we've had to push back the closing. Because the sellers, they wanted to close March 27th.
Okay.
And we had to push that back. To the point where they were thinking of pulling out of the whole deal. Okay. So we have that stress right now. We're trying to do it, we started this contract with them in January. And I know there's no crystal ball on how much time this takes. I did talk to a few people and they said this whole special use permit should take 6 to 8 weeks. So I thought in April 1st or something, close date would have been good for us. So now we're trying to close right around that date if we can. So we are a little bit under a time crunch and they're getting a little frustrated.
And as your council knows, our special use process, you put that in the paper 30 days, then have a meeting 30 days. Usually it takes, about 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, and then I know you got to get the clarification from the state, because I used to have to work in certain programs as such, with HIV and AIDS, and I understand you have to acquire the property first, then send your documentation off, and then wait. Forever wait. So, thank you.
Alderman Roll.
Just out of curiosity, what criteria go into selecting a property like this? As far as location, like what are you looking for? Why this place now?
Well, we look for a property that's gonna fit our needs. This one had, the bedrooms that we needed, the size of the bedrooms. It also had, a nice living room that can help with a meeting with the girls. It's big enough for that. So it was big enough, but not overly big that we'd be swallowed up in it, because we shouldn't have as many people as we wanted. So, the reason we picked this house was we also thought the location seemed good for us. We want to keep it, somewhat away, 5-6 blocks away from the men's facility. We don't want to have anything like that happening. We don't want to have it next door. We all know what happened there. And so we just figured this was a very good location and type of house that would help us get going into this women's treatment program.
Just for the education of the alderman, our code requires 1,500 feet from any facility. So once they're there, nobody else can be in the 1,500 radius at the same time.
You know, I'm definitely sensitive to the timing issue, but again, if my residents were not aware of this, right? If the city could have maybe done more to let folks know, to come and ask questions and to be heard. But you know, for my part, I can't sort of bow to an individual sale, at the expense of the entire neighborhood. So you know, again, I'm not trying to be hard about it, but, I do have to hear the concerns of the residents, who just haven't heard me answer these questions for me.
Any other questions?
Again, do you believe that if this is successful, that you would be looking for another property?
I don't know. I really don't know. You know, it takes a lot to do this, a lot of work. But we want to keep doing it, you know, but it takes a certain type of people to do it. We're not going to be here forever. So I can't tell what the future will bring. You know, right now, we're trying to get this up and running. We're trying to see, you know, if it's going to help the women that we hope it'll help. And that's really all we know today.
I want to let the Alderman also, there was a billboard in front of the house. There was 3 contacted residents that contacted me personally. There was people that spoke out and asked questions at the PZBA that Guildhouse did answer to.
We were gonna talk about it in Calmair. I appreciate it, but again, we skipped an entire step, and one that residents could attend, and ask questions.
Any other questions? Is there a motion? Motion by Alderman Ruthenberg, seconded by Alderman McGee on the question. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Johnson,
Aye. Because of the history that you guys have with City of Blue Island, what I've seen done personally and interact with the city, wouldn't be.
Alderman Roll, did you want to move the table or not?
We're already in part of the roll call, Alderman.
Okay.
Alderman Ruthenberg,
Hi, Alderman Roll, I do hear your concerns. I also respect the Guildhouse. They've been here a long time, and the mayor did reach out to me and let me know of a few people that reached out to him with questions that he did answer them. So I'm comfortable with that.
Alderman Fairwell,
I would rather not vote no. Because I'd rather have a table, but I guess now the only option is for me to vote no, so I will.
Alderman McGee,
Aye.
Alderman Carr,
And
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I hope that's been great for the residents.
Alderman Carr,
I'm gonna vote yes. I have not seen any negative impacts from the Guild House. So, you know, you've been around for a long time. I know you make a lot of contributions to the community and you've helped a lot of people. So I'm gonna vote yes.
Alderman Roll,
I abstain.
I'm gonna vote for this also, no, doesn't need. I'm gonna vote because I have personal history with the Guildhouse. I grew up and still live 1 block from the main house. In my 44 years on this earth, they've never had an issue. And I know their other location, 135th and Western, I've never had any issues. So I'm glad that it's your organization in this area and not another organization, because we've had bad luck in the past, as you know from our planning and zoning comments. And so now when you make yourself home in this neighborhood, and I know you will treat it like a home, it blocks it out. You guys have the neighborhood. Nobody else can buy another halfway house in that neighborhood now. So my feelings were more selfish as the mayor. Good organization is better than organization we do not know. W knows better than W don't. So this neighborhood has the Guildhouse, and I know the organization very well. And now no other organization can apply for something in that same neighborhood. So I have very practical reasons why I'm in favor. So I rarely do vote, but I'm voting for it because I know the organization. Passes. Thank you. Last on the agenda is also came from planning and zoning. No issues at planning and zoning regarding the trucking terminal at 3500 127th. So it already exists. They're asking to expand. This is the area south of Kathy's Corner on the other side of Wyerton by that public aid office, if you can picture it. Not too far from Dan Davis was found. So they're just asking for permission. Is there a motion? Alderman Johnson, is there a second? Alderman McGee on the question. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Ruthenberg.
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
Alderman Carr,
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
No.
Motion carries. Under mayor's announcements, I'm canceling Tuesday's meeting as there's nothing that pressing after these things were passed, because I moved up the timeline. The next meeting's April 14th, nearly a month from now, unless there's an emergency that we have to deal with. Happy Joseph's Day, everybody. I know St. Patrick's gets all the attention, that's why I'm wearing red. So, as a half Italian, I have to say happy St. Joseph's Day. And Catholic. City clerk, do you have anything from our city clerk?
Just to remind everybody about the community cleanup that will be on April 25th. I hope you can sign up on the website or at the city clerk's office.
Okay, city attorney, we got any executive or anything?
No.
No? Okay. City administration?
Good.
City met with Cook County earlier this week. They are starting a new program with ARPA funds to help assist residents with past due water accounts. Just an initial meeting with them. They will be providing the agreement to us for our attorney to review. This would basically cover, we're considered phase 2 communities, so 63% of New Island meets the census tract threshold for income for them to apply. Basically, we would provide them a list of all residents that have past due water accounts. We'd have to break down water, sewer, trash charges on there. They would provide, once we provide that to them, they would provide up to $2,000 in relief to residents. If it's above $2,000, they would do it on a case-by-case basis. Once we provide that data to the county, they would then issue one check to the city of Blue Island and to apply those funds to each individual account. And then we'd have to show that bank account.
Alderman Farrell?
So a resident would be eligible to get $2,000 relief.
Up to $2,000.
So I like this idea. I'm just so surprised. How would, I mean, a resident, typically is gonna have a water bill of $100 a month or less, and that's 20 months of water bills. That kind, I'm not opposed to it, but I'm surprised how much money they're willing to give out.
It's up to $2,000.
Yeah. So I get it.
And if you have, a leak in your house, you might have a
Yeah.
water bill.
Okay, all right, but just a good idea.
And we have to forgive some of the penalties on our side as well, 10% of the penalties on there. And we'd have to guarantee that we do not shut them off for 6 months after payment is received. However, I did speak to her on that because I said, after 6 months, of course, the bill can catch up, downtown pretty fast. And she says, you can provide notice to the resident. If they do not respond to that shut off notice, you are able to move forward with the check.
Any other questions? Alderman McGee?
I don't know if you know this or not, but what is the total amount of funds and how many residents would possibly receive this kind of help?
I don't know the total amount of funds that they have available. They're just trying to use up all of the ARPA funds before the end of this year.
Other questions? All right, we're all good with this? All right. I mean, it benefits the residents, right? All right, anything else?
Nope.
Any aldermanic announcements, reports, or comments? Alderman Roll?
I just want to add, again, it's like with the annexation of land to the 7th Ward and the proposal before us tonight. My issue is not whether or not it should be done. It's whether or not this council has taken sufficient steps and done sufficient analysis for things that I personally felt that affect my ward that we did not take. Rather than having it hinge on being whether we support the initiative or not. I just want to make clear, I'm pushing for profit, not to sort of manufacture a shortened timeline.
Alderman Farrell.
Yeah, I detested having to make a no vote on this. It's an excellent project and we want to see it happen. I felt stuck. This should have been conducted in, that we should discuss this in a count. And then we could have voted on it, and I'm sure it would have passed, but I know what happened last time with the seventh ward and the annexation without a due process. I'm gonna vote no more and more if this, this kind of stuff goes on.
Any other Alderman? Alderman McGee?
If for the family of Dan, if we could, if I can ask for a moment of silence for Dan.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Any other Alderman? We don't have an executive. Is there a motion? Alderman Carr.
I mean, I'm reading this. Planning and Zoning Board of Appeals, they had a public hearing on March the 5th. And then they approved it. Now, it was a public hearing. If people were interested, they could have gone. And the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended it. So I don't see a problem.
I'll let my residents know.
Alderman Rutherford.
Is there a way the Alderman can be notified about these planning zoning meetings? And I mean, okay, they're probably not, I don't know. To be honest with you, is there a way Alderman can write an email, tell us when these meetings are, where we can share with our residents, or how would that look?
That is a very reasonable request, and yes, no issues with that. I know there's one in second week of April, a lot of things on there, including a new grocery store. It's good information. So I will tell the economic developer, email all the Aldermen the agenda.
Thank you.
I think you can also sit in.
Yeah, I've gone to a few of them. I know some other Aldermen have gone to them too. So. All right. Any other Alderman? If not, we need a motion to adjourn. Alderman Fairwell, or second Alderman McGee, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Thank you.
Hey.